Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Paula, and on this channel we break down what's really happening in crypto, not just the headlines, but the bigger picture behind them, so you can actually understand where the market's heading. Now, today I want to talk about something that I think a lot of people are getting wrong at the moment. Because if you open the charts right now, or even something like crypto bubbles, you'll see a lot of green. You'll see altcoins moving, you'll see random projects pumping, and it starts to feel like something is happening again. It almost feels like the market is waking up. And naturally, the question people start asking is whether this is the start of a new run or whether this is just another short term bounce that's going to fade away again. But the truth is, it's not exactly either of those things. What we're actually seeing right now is a very specific phase of the market. And if you don't understand it properly, it's very easy to misread what's happening and make the wrong decisions at the wrong time. Because if you zoom out slightly and look beyond crypto, what you'll notice is that this move lines up very closely with what's happening globally. Over the past week, there's been a noticeable shift in sentiment, particularly around geopolitics, with increasing talk of potential peace discussions between the US and Iran. Now, whether that actually happens or not is still uncertain, but markets don't wait for certainty, they react to the possibility. And when that possibility appears, you tend to see a shift from what's called risk off to risk on. That means investors become more comfortable putting money into higher risk assets again, things like stocks and crypto, rather than sitting on the sidelines or hiding in safer positions. And we've seen that not just in crypto, but across financial markets more broadly. Equities have stabilized, oil hasn't spiked the way people feared, and Bitcoin has started pushing back towards higher levels again. So, what you're seeing in crypto right now isn't isolated, it's part of a wider shift in sentiment. And this is where it becomes really important to understand what's actually driving this move, because it's not fundamentals. It's not that all of these projects suddenly released major updates at the same time, or that something groundbreaking has happened across the entire space. What's driving this is liquidity. Money is starting to flow back into the market, but it hasn't decided where to go yet. And when that happens, you get what's known as a liquidity bounce. Instead of capital flowing into one specific narrative or one sector, it spreads out across everything. That's why when you look at the market right now, it feels a bit chaotic. You've got DeFi projects moving, you've got meme coins moving, you've got AI related tokens moving, and even some smaller low cap projects making huge percentage gains that don't seem to have any obvious reason behind them. But the reason is actually quite simple. It's not about the projects themselves, it's about the fact that money has re entered the system. And this is a very specific phase of the market cycle. It's the phase where things start to wake up, but nothing has fully formed yet. It's not structured, it's not focused, and it's not driven by strong narratives. It's driven by sentiment. And this is where people tend to get caught out because on the surface, it looks like the start of something big. It looks like the momentum is building, and it feels like you might be missing something if you're not fully involved. But at the same time, this phase is fragile because if the sentiment that's driving it changes, it can reverse just as quickly. And we've already seen that recently. When tensions escalate, when talks break down, when uncertainty increases, crypto drops. And when those same tensions ease, when there's talks of peace or stability, crypto moves back up again. So, what we're seeing right now is not a fully developed trend, it's a reaction to changing conditions. Now, that doesn't mean it's not important. In fact, this phase is incredibly important because this is how every major move begins. It doesn't start with a clear narrative and strong fundamentals. It starts with liquidity returning quietly. At first, everything moves together good projects, weak projects, infrastructure, memes. It all lifts at the same time. And then over time, that liquidity starts to concentrate. That's when things change. That's when you start to see specific sectors leading, specific narratives forming, and stronger, more sustained trends developing. And we're not quite there yet. Right now, we're still in that early phase where the market is testing whether this sentiment can hold, whether this liquidity stays, and whether momentum can build on top of it. And this is where the bigger picture starts to matter. Because while short term moves are being driven by macro sentiment, there are long term structural changes happening in the background at the same time. Regulation is progressing, stablecoins are being integrated into the financial system, and governments are shifting from resisting crypto to structuring it. You've got conversations happening around things like the Clarity Act in the US. You've got ongoing development of central bank digital currencies. And you've got companies like Ripple and Quant positioning themselves as infrastructure within a more connected financial system. So, what you've got is this overlap between short term sentiment and long term structure. In the short term, money is moving because people feel more comfortable taking risk. But in the long term, the system itself is being built out in a way that could support much larger flows of capital. And that is why this phase matters, even if it doesn't feel explosive yet. Because the real move doesn't happen when everything is moving randomly. It happens when that randomness turns into focus. And that's what you want to watch next. You want to see whether Bitcoin starts to lead properly, whether certain sectors begin to outperform, and whether fundamentals start to matter more than sentiment. Because that is the point of transition. That's when the market moves from a liquidity bounce into a structured trend. And that's where the bigger opportunities tend to appear. So, when you look at the market right now, don't just focus on the fact that things are green, focus on why they're green. Because right now, the answer is liquidity. It's sentiment, it's macro conditions improving slightly, but that can change quickly. And understanding that difference is what allows you to position properly instead of reacting too late. Now, I'd really love to hear what you think. Do you think this is the start of something bigger, or do you think this is just another temporary bounce driven by macro sentiment? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, if you want to know the exact strategies we use in the Crypto Wolf Pack to make money in both bull markets and bear markets, we've made a completely free trading course for you. The link is in the description below. It's called the Crypto Liftoff course. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.